Until the Cows Come Home by Fraser Amiot. Once upon a time, cows lived very happily on their farm. Cows would live in peace and eat grass. But one day, woolly mammoths attacked the cows' farm. The mammoths destroyed the farm and the cows were forced to scatter. The cows were scattered all over the world and began getting blamed for things. Eventually, the cows came together in order to get a farm for themselves again. Farmer John saw that the cows needed a place to stay, so he offered to let them stay at one of his farms. Lots of horses lived on this farm, and they did not want to share the land with the cows. Even though the horses made a fuss, Farmer John still welcomed the cows. The cows were efficient eaters and began eating lots of grass. The horses were furious and began fighting with the cows. 200,000 cows came within the first 5 years. Farmer John saw that the tension was rising on his farm, so he decided to cut the farm into two, half for the horses and half for the cows. The horses hated the idea. The horses thought, why do we have to give the cows the land? It was ours originally. But right when the conflict was at its climax, a terrible global drought broke out. It turned out the global drought was very severe. The cows and the horses put aside their worries and concentrated on surviving the drought. The drought ended up killing 6 million cows. The cows were very sad. Farmer John was sad as well. Farmer John was so sad that he decided to help out the cows. Small groups of horses began destroying barns and crops since he was helping out the cows. Things were not good. Farmer John began getting poor and asked for help from the animal rights activists. Animal rights activists cut the farm in half. All the horses were so angry they rallied mustangs and ponies to attack the cows. The cows' farm was eventually called Dairyland. After Dairyland was created, all sorts of horses, mustangs, and ponies attacked it. Surprisingly, the cows held off Dairyland with ease and pushed the horses, mustangs, and ponies back to the farms where they came from. The cows even took some land from the horses. Animal rights activists were angry at the cows for invading other farms. Over 1 million horses were displaced, which made them very angry. The angry horses committed terrorist acts against the cows. Constant conflicts broke out between the cows and the horses in the coming years. Rich farmer Brian from the west started sending aid to the cows. Tensions rose even more. Massive amounts of animals began organizing around Dairyland. It was not a good time. The horses wanted to get their original farm back, and the animals were getting very angry at the cows. Instead of surrendering, the cows made a preemptive charge out of the pen. The cows ended up destroying many other farmers and pushed the horses far back. 750 cows died, but 44,000 non-cows died. The cows were learning how to fight. They had the upper hand. Animal rights activists were telling the cows to stay only in Dairyland and get out of the horses' farms, but the cows disobeyed their orders. Then the animal rights activists were angry at the cows, and even some sided with the horses. Time went on, and the powerful animal rights activist member Farmer Brian began feeding the cows. The anger between the cows and the horses did not end. Dairyland still exists. Tension between cows and horses are still high today, all because the cows came home.